Buckeye Nation, what is up? Johnny, not here today because that mofo didn't have to travel all over the country for the Ohio State game. Shane, Sugar Ray Shane Larson, the game time guru, the Boise Buckeye, is here with Floco, Florida Corey. I hate talking about myself in the third person, but there we are. At Scarlet Great CT, if you want to check me on Twitter. Guys, Ohio State football was Scarlet and Great right here on YouTube. Please like the channel if you loved what you saw on Saturday. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Appreciate you guys for all the love and support you've been giving us. Gotta be here with my boy Shane. We didn't get to hook up at the game because of just timing and car trouble and all kinds of garbage. But hey, what the heck? We're here now. Shane, how you doing, man? After that win?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I'm exhausted. Let me tell you guys, Buckeye fans, you might know what I'm talking about, but my dad and I, we're from Boise on the other side of the country. Yeah, the adrenaline's pumping during the trip and everything, but once we got home, man, I'm still trying to recover, Corey. I'm trying to recover from the whole entire day.
Hey, we're old men now, right?
It doesn't come as easy as it used to, the recovery, I should say. And yeah, wow, that doesn't happen as easily as it used to. And yeah, here we are. But I'm doing good, man. Feeling really good about the win. Super cool experience. How about you, Corey? How you feeling, man, after a long drive home?
Well, it feels better that we won.
Yes.
During the game, Wise Dan the man, you know who you are. You watch the videos. Appreciate you, Dan. Came up to me and he was telling me, "Hey, how you doing? It's your first game in the shoe. You loving it?" And I'm like, "Love it a little bit more if we were winning because at the time we were down 10-7." And but he actually made a good point. It's just a football game, dude. Just enjoy the experience. I'm like, You're right. You're absolutely right. But if we win, I'll enjoy it a little bit more. I got a long drive home. I don't want to think about us losing. But anyway, they came through. Obviously, you guys know what happened. But um, you know what? I'm 2-2 now in my Buckeye games. So my first win was against Maryland in a 1 point game that we won in 2018 at Maryland. First game in the shoe is 1-0 at least. It's a night game, season opener for I knocked out a lot of firsts there. And to be honest with you, I was thinking throughout the second quarter, why do they play like crap every time I'm in the freaking stadium? This is annoying. I was thinking about going to the Michigan game this year. I'm like, should I not do that? Am I a jinx? I mean, I don't want to hurt them for rivalry week, but like, hey, you know what? We're going to go through it here for a few minutes, and then we'll get into the next game preview. But they came through in a big way, and I think we're all. I mean, I see you liking my tweets and stuff I was saying, so I think you pretty much agree with what we're going to talk about. But I think we can all pretty much agree that that game was more satisfying when you look back on it. Not maybe not in the moment, but when you look back on it, that game was extremely satisfying, don't you think?
Absolutely, man. And I was of the probably the minority of fans on the Buckeyes side of things that, I'm a fan of Notre Dame. I know that's crazy to say, but I actually root for them when they're not playing the Buckeyes. I've said it before here on the channel. I got
No,
four
you're
tickets.
fired. I'm
I know.
done with you.
I got 4 tickets to go to the Notre Dame BYU game. I got paid 4 tickets from a guy I'm doing work for, but I'm probably going to sell those. But the thing is, like, I actually respect them. I know they're overhyped every year, mainly just because of the brand. But this year, I truly did like what I saw when they were coming out of camp. So I thought, this might be a tough game. I did not expect it to be as bad on our front, but Corey, I was actually super impressed with their athleticism. Defensively, we're always so used to seeing them get smacked in the college football playoff, but they're playing elite teams like Alabama, who does that to pretty much every single team minus Georgia, right? They do that to everybody. So like we're used to seeing
We
that,
used to
but
do it to Georgia.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So, like, I mean, you got to be honest with ourselves here. Notre Dame has some athletes. Okay, they have some athletes, especially on the defensive side. So, watching the game, we were struggling offensively to get some of the passes to go. We can say what we want to say about the receivers being down, Fleming, and JSN getting hurt early in the game. Like that does hurt you a lot. I can get into that whole discussion here. Yeah, we're wide receiver but you've got second and third options now becoming the first and second option who have to get double covered and triple covered at times. Like you're not going to be as smooth as you were in camp. So anyway, my whole point is that defensive front was getting to the quarterback. They were getting to Stroud or at least pressuring them just without a blitz sometimes. And so that's going to cause some problems. And their linebackers and their corners were doing a great job. So I was actually impressed with Notre Dame's defense, but so happy that we adjusted the in-game adjustments. What people, they want to hate on Ryan Day for play calling. I thought he actually did a pretty good job for the majority of the game. But what I love about him is it's always been his adjustments in the second half for the most part. And what did he do? He's like, okay, we're going to go ahead and go right at them. They got athletic dudes on the front line, but they're only bringing 4 guys. Okay, cool. Let's push them back and get 5 yards a pop. And that's exactly what he did. So stoked about that, man. It was really cool to see that. Hindsight, you're looking back, you're like, yeah, it's kind of an ugly game. But now you're looking back and you're like, no, that was a very good, like gritty, gutsy win for Ohio State on the first game of the season when things are typically pretty sketchy on the first game. You're trying to get a flow, and we pulled one out.
I think that game, and I'll say this is my last word on that game. So Johnny analyzed it. We don't need to keep going back and forth on it, but I'll tell you what, the game answered every bell that we couldn't answer last year. Answered every call, bell, whatever you want to say. It rung every bell, answered every call. We were not tough last year. We were not physical last year. We could not power run last year. We could not stop anybody on defense last year. We were a finesse 7-on-7 team. If we could find the holes in your secondary and pass the ball, we could keep up with you, but we couldn't guarantee that we were going to slow anybody down. This game did everything the polar opposite of what we were used to seeing from Ohio State football. We were used to seeing a team that we could just track race with anybody, track meet with anybody. I was afraid of this, but it got to a point where we realized if Kerry Combs was the defensive coordinator of this team, we would have lost this game. There's no question in my mind. But Jimmy Knowles, first game out of the gate, says, "I'm here." He literally just went in the blocko in the middle of the field and says, "It's Jimmy Knowles season. I'm here now. I'm your guys. You can trust me." And that defense played phenomenally. I don't want to care. Yeah, a couple broken plays here. I don't care. It's going to happen to everybody. We got pressure on the quarterback consistently. I think the stat was we reached the running back 60-something% of every time they ran the ball. We got the hands on the running back in the backfield. Many tackles for loss. The linebackers look like different animals all of a sudden. Secondary, the safeties, Ransom played that Jordan Fuller role perfectly, where you had to clean up anything that looked like it was getting past the second level. He was there to clean it up. The defensive line set the edge extremely well. We got pressure. Michael Hall came out of nowhere. I finally called one. I never get to call these things. I went on the Always Irish podcast to do a crossover. Said, guys, watch for 51. Watch for Michael Hall. That dude's going to be a player. You're going to know his name by the end of the game. And sure enough, he had a great game. And credit to Tommy Eichenberg shutting everybody up, including myself. Not even going to sit there in front and say that I was a huge fan of him. But he proved coaching and scheme matter. He proved that more than anybody in the nation on Saturday night, because he looked like a guy that everybody wanted on the bench. Now he looks like a guy who's going to be all Big Ten easily, the way he's playing, if he keeps this up throughout the season. And then you look at the offense, passing game wasn't working. Okay, fine. We said, you know what we're going to do, Notre Dame? We're going to run it down your throat and put together a 7-minute, 96-yard drive, and we're going to put the game away. And then we're going to put the game away again on the next drive when we just run it down your throat. I don't care who, it's coming and you can't stop it. Justin Fry said it. Justin Fry and Jimmy Knowles, two new additions to the offensive staff, won this game for us with their coaching. And honestly, the two-headed monster with Mayan Williams and Trevian Henderson complement what could be a great passing attack going forward perfectly. And Josh Pate on his show said it best. Come November, this Ohio State team is going to be nasty because they're going to get this pass game figured out. JSN's going to get healthy. Julian Fleming's going to get healthy. We're going to have Cam Babb's going to get healthy. We're going to have all 6 of our guys, and it's just going to be nasty. And we get the next 2 weeks. We're going to talk about one of the games coming up where JSN probably won't play and Fleming probably won't play, where we get to work on the timing with Emeka Egbuka, Marvin Harrison, Jalen Ballard, and CJ Stroud. So I couldn't be more excited for this team because we showed the traits we did not have. We showed the things we were missing the last 2 years. And Ryan Day is showing, hey, I know how to fix what's wrong with the program.
100%, man. And shout out to Ohio State as we wrap this part up. That's only my second time in the shoe. Corey's first, my second. Got a win finally. I'm 2-3 as going to Buckeye games. There's a joke on Twitter like, stop going to these games, man, because I went to the 2 Clemson playoff games.
You went to the 31-0 game?
Yes, I was at that game. That's my first time actually.
It's all your fault. We know who to blame.
Exactly. Not Deshaun Watson tearing us apart, but
it's definitely not Ed Warner's fault. That guy had a perfect game plan, and you just ruined it.
No, man. I'll tell you what, though, an amazing experience. Shout out to all the Buckeyes fans, but shout out to the entire organization, that whole entire program, because I'll tell you what, guys, my dad came with me. He's never been to a big game before in his entire life. He goes to Boise State games, 36,000 people. That's all we're used to. We got in the stands. I was just talking to Corey. You can get 100,000 people into the actual stadium within 10 minutes of the gates opening, and it might be even faster than that. And you can get them out of the stadium even faster than that. You go to Boise State, you'll be sitting in line trying to get into the stadium for like 35, 45 minutes, and it's 36,000 people. Shout out to Ohio State. Love the experience. It's amazing.
Yeah, staff does a great job there, guys. And it was a great show. from the leapfrog crew to the Navy leapfrog. Oh, it was awesome. And then seeing the drones do all the designs at halftime, the band, of course, the pageantry, everything was wonderful. Had a phenomenally blast of a time. I can't wait to do it again, and I can't wait to do it with my buddies Johnnie and Shane again. I'm good. Shane, we're hooking up next time. I don't care what
Well,
the if I
we'll
miss
we'll
the
make it
first
happen.
quarter, I'm meeting up with you.
We'll
I
make
don't
it
care.
happen.
So anyway, guys, we're going to move on to the next game because Notre Dame is in the books now. We're 1-0. The best thing about being 1-0 is a chance to go 2-0, as Urban Meyer loved to say. 100% correct on that. I don't care how ugly it looked at times. A win is a win against a top 5 program. Good for Ohio State. Kudos to them on a great win. Arkansas State is next up. Fresh meat. Look, they're 44-point underdogs to Ohio State as we record this on Monday night. Is it Monday? Yes, Monday night. I can't remember what day it is anymore.
It's Monday.
Okay. As we record this Monday night, they're 44-point underdogs. I don't know if the line will move or not. It'll be interesting. They do have some players on Arkansas State, and they just destroyed Grambling State. Grambling State is Division II school that is horrible. They're a horrible team. Hugh Jackson is the head coach now. Remember him from the Browns, 1-31 or whatever he was with the Browns. Just saying, take that with a grain of salt. I mean, it doesn't mean there's some really great program, but they do have some good players. Some guys you'll recognize. Shane, why don't you get us started off with that?
Yeah, let's talk about the quarterback. We got James Blackman coming in quarterback. He was, if you guys remember, Florida State's starter for a couple of years. He played 4 years at Florida State. He's got some eligibility due to COVID, and then obviously an extra year there.
He's getting his doctorate now or something. I mean,
yeah, he's doing his grad school transfer over to Arkansas State. He got hurt last year.
Wasn't he on one of those Last Chance U shows too?
That was the other Florida State quarterback.
Gotcha. Okay.
Can't remember. He's actually the one that's on the Bears or was on the Bears roster, and then he went to the Bucks as a DB.
That's still there, or is he gone? No,
I can't remember. We'll have to check into that.
Yeah, you're not here for that anyway. Sorry.
This is James Blackman. The dude is 6'5". He has a cannon, and he is athletic. So here's the thing: we know who this guy is. He's got experience playing big time football games and big time stadiums, but he's used to having big time 5- and 4-star athletes alongside him. Now it's a little different when you're playing with Arkansas State. There's no disrespect there. I'm not trying to just jump over him, but we are 40+ point favorites for a reason. But Blackman does have the experience. He has experience throwing the ball. He has experience running the ball. Well, I say he was great.
He's a mobile guy. He is a
mobile guy. And that is why I'm excited, Corey, because we have an opportunity here to really get more discipline on defense. We get to see a different look. Yes, I would consider them an inferior opponent. Never overlook anybody, but yeah, it's Arkansas State. It is what it is. But you will have to be more disciplined in different areas. Let's see how our linebackers do with the mobile quarterback. Let's see how our front line does. Let's see what can we tackle when he's in the open field. He has a cannon on him. So if he scrambles, can our DBs stick with the receivers one-on-one or with just one, safety high over the top? Like, can we get out there where those receivers break free when the quarterback gets running? Those are the little things I'm looking for to see if we can actually shut them down, because that's something we're going to need throughout the rest of the season. So I'm actually excited to see, Blackman in action. He knows what he's doing. He's been there before. He's a veteran quarterback at the college level, so he's not scared to be there. We've got somebody to pay attention to. Who else we got, Corey?
Oh, we got a running back. You might remember him. He's not their main running back, but I got to bring him up. Brian Snead, remember, Ohio State guy. He came in with the same class as Master Teague. Now, Brian Snead didn't last long. There was a off-the-field issue. I don't know how true it is. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to rip the kid's reputation at all. I just wish him the absolute best wherever he's at, because that's honestly what you should do with these kids, because you just don't know the whole story. Brian Snead, playing for them, had about 57 yards last week against Grambling on 12 carries or so. A good player, but he's not the main guy. Johnnie Lang seems to be the main guy. Averaged 9.5 yards per carry against Grambling State. Now, granted, it is Grambling State. Take it with a grain of salt. So they do like to run the ball, but again, it's like, what's their game plan going to be against us? They're probably going to end up passing the ball a lot more, simply because they're not going to be up 55-3 or whatever on us. So it'll be interesting. I think the run game is. If anything showed against Notre Dame, we can stop the run now.
Yes,
because that was Notre Dame's strength, is the running attack, and their offensive line's really, really good. But Arkansas State obviously not going to be as talented as Notre Dame, but obviously we've shown a penchant for running. The only thing that worries me about this game, after an emotional game like Notre Dame, how up will Ohio State be for this game? Because they're going to look at us like, oh, we got through the big test, now we can just kind of coast to Wisconsin, and it's like,
I hope they don't.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think the new blood at coaching staff, like Justin Fry, Jimmy Knowles, I just don't think will allow that to happen. So it'll be interesting to see how well they stop the run, or if Arkansas State can actually break off a few plays, surprisingly, and wake Ohio State up. I wonder how that's going to go. Is it going to be? It's not going to be Douglas versus Tyson. I don't expect an upset, obviously, but is it going to be like one of those? Man, we're in the second quarter. We're not blowing this team out yet. What the heck's going on? So it'll be
You
interesting to
can't let
see
that
what
happen.
happens there.
I think the coaches, like you just said, Corey, that'll play to our benefit because they're not going to let that happen because they need the experience too, right? Players, they're young guys that are, they're young college students. So they probably will, there's natural hesitancy there where you're like, this sucks. But those coaches, they need the experience. I don't think it's going to happen this game, but I totally see what you're saying. But I wanted to make a quick correction real quick. So Butch Jones, I want to make sure he's actually the head coach, Butch Jones, head coach of Arkansas State football. Butch Jones, for you guys to remember this real quick, he was a head coach.
Cincinnati for a while. Yeah, terrible Tennessee.
Terrible Tennessee. The one thing that we want to make sure y'all understand, though, is he understands Ohio State a little bit because he was a special assistant coach at Alabama during the championship year. That was a weird year, but when they beat us in the chip. And so he kind of has a little bit of an idea of how Coach Day does some things.
Will it matter?
No, that's what I was about to say. Will it matter? I don't know.
We could hand him the playbook. It ain't gonna matter. I mean,
exactly. There's a reason he's at Arkansas State right now and not at a top tier.
Not at Tennessee. Yeah, it isn't like Tennessee's like found their. I mean, like they found their guy and they fired him anyway. No, there's a reason why Tennessee's been through some coaches. Although Heupel looks like he's got Tennessee in the right direction.
They got a good culture change there.
Yeah, they needed it. Jeez. No more McDonald's bags because you can do that on the open now. Anyway. No, but I agree with you. Butch Jones he's got a good pedigree. He went through Nick Saban's rehab program as a head coach. Maybe this is the next stepping stone for him to get to another place. They were 2-10 last year, so they were terrible last year. I don't know how quickly you can change that around, especially when you're going against a Hugh Jackson-led Grambling State. My goodness, I mean, how do you gauge this? That's why I'm going. I mean, their leading receivers, a guy named Champ Fleming, who's pretty good. Their defense, they got I think 3.5 sacks last week on. Grambling State got 100 total yards and 9 first downs last week. I just like how can you really gauge this game? Because it obviously big jump in competition this week, obviously with Ohio State. My only concern is, like I said, how up Ohio State will be for this game. Now, I think it'll be a good game for Ohio State to really practice and hone their pass game to improve that. I think this is a game, honestly, by third quarter, we're seeing Kyle McCord. And we're seeing we're seeing Dallin Hayden a little bit. We're going to see maybe CJ Hicks play a little bit. Gabe Powers get in there a little bit. I think we'll see some Jordan Hancock if he's healthy, and maybe some J.K. Johnson. And maybe some younger safeties and things like that. Maybe Kai Stokes gets in the game a little bit. I think that's a game by third, fourth quarter. We're seeing all the backups. I don't know if we're going to cover the spread because that's a big spread to cover, and we haven't been so crisp just yet. But I love the idea that JSN is going to be out for a couple of weeks. Not because I don't want JSN to play, but I want CJ to really find that new security blanket. And by the way, new security blanket, Cade Stover, who looked really good in the past game against Notre Dame. So we're actually using the tight end. Who would have known? But I like the idea of him working on his routes with Marvin Harrison and Emeka Egbuka and Jalen Ballard. If you get the timing down with everybody in that 6-man rotation, we're just going to be so deadly on offense going forward because you got to pick your poison against us, right? So 100%. That's what I look at this game as. I look at it as a game as an opportunity to keep honing, like you said, the discipline on defense with a mobile quarterback and with a couple playmakers that they have, like in Johnnie Lang and Champ Fleming. The discipline on defense, as well as fixing some of the kinks in the passing game right now. Is that what you look at this game as, kind of like a game we can work on some things, like like we did in the old days, man? We just play 3 cupcakes and go in the conference play.
Yeah, dude, you got to be able to. That's why I don't want him to come in there thinking it's nothing. I want him to be able to work on some stuff. Like, this is someone that's not your defense that you're used to seeing all the time, every practice. This is somebody else. Go against different personnel. Tighten those things up. And also, I'm just going to throw this out there. I know I'm beating a dead horse, but CJ, you've got to run the ball. Like, if you roll out and there happens to be a time where the pass play breaks down and you've got 15 yards of open field, I am just begging you to figure out how to put your head down and run. I get it. You want to make the passes.
Get out of bounds, slide, whatever. Aaron Rodgers is a master of it. You can do
100%. I'm not asking a quarterback. CJ is not going to go there. It's not a quarterback run offense. You know, it's not like an option where you got to
John Elway in the Super Bowl. I'm not asking you to helicopter. I'm just
Corey, I'm telling you, man, like we saw it live there. There were multiple times Zach Smith broke it down too. I mean, I'm talking 10, 15 yards, and then you slide. There was like, I'm not asking you to lower your shoulder and take a beating every single play. No, I'm not asking you to go like Justin Fields and get speared in the back and like hurt you in the college football play. No, just
we're not saying JT run it 19 times on a scope knee. No.
Just slide when you got to slide and get those yards, because what that does is just like basketball. Everybody knows it. If you shoot threes, you spread the defense out. Then you penetrate. Okay, now you collapse the defense. It shifts everything when you give the defense multiple looks, because now they've got to think. And if you make people think, it causes hesitancy. And that's when elite teams with speed like Ohio State can get bomb plays. Boom, you beat them over the top because the safety's stuttering. You beat them up the middle because now the linemen don't know exactly where to go and the linebackers are hesitating. Just see the field and run, please. That's all I got to say.
Score prediction to end the game or end the show. What do you think?
52-13.
I'm close. I'm 54-21.
Ooh, we didn't.
I think
elaborate about that before.
I say 21 because we're going to be putting backups in later, and I think they're going to get a garbage touchdown or something like that. And I just think people defense stinks. It's like we had 4 stringers in there. He's just trying to get everybody, in sync. So calm down a little bit. And Jimmy Knowles will of course be Jimmy Knowles and scream at them for it. So I love Jimmy. I'm a huge Jimmy fan.
I'm a fan. I got a picture of him on their walk into the stadium. I'm going to probably frame that one day.
Oh, you need to frame it. That dude's going to become a Buckeye legend, guaranteed. So
I love the guy.
Guys, we appreciate you. Please comment what you think the score will be of the Arkansas State game. What do you thought about the Notre Dame game? Like the video if you like what you watch. Subscribe to the channel. We're looking for 5,000 subscribers, guys. Appreciate you as always. We will see you after the Arkansas State game. I think Johnny has another video coming out this week as well. If he doesn't, don't look at me. I don't know what to tell you. So anyway, guys, for Sugar Ray, Shane Larson, and for myself, we appreciate you guys. Ohio State football here with Scarlet and Great. All right, here on YouTube. Appreciate you. Goodbye. God bless. And go Bucks.